They say the person you love the most can hurt you in ways you never imagined. I never thought that my own marriage would become a battlefield of betrayal. I had trusted my wife, Emma, with my heart, my home, and my dreams for over 10 years. We had built a life together, raised 2 kids, and shared moments that I thought were irreplaceable. Yet, here I was, sitting on the edge of our bed, staring at the floor, trying to make sense of the words she had just said. "I think we should try something different," she said, her voice unusually calm, almost rehearsed. I looked up, confused, waiting for her to clarify. She took a deep breath, her eyes flickering with a mix of excitement and defiance. "An open marriage. I want us to explore other people." The words hit me like a punch to the chest. I blinked, thinking maybe I hadn't heard her right. "Excuse me?" I asked, my voice barely controlled. Emma's lips curved into a small, almost playful smile. "It's just for fun, love. It doesn't mean anything. I've been feeling trapped, and I think this could bring us closer." Closer? My mind reeled at the irony. The woman I loved was suggesting that she sleep with someone else, and I was supposed to be okay with it? I could feel the heat rising in my chest, my hands clenching into fists. "You're serious?" I whispered, though I already knew the answer. "Yes, and I want you to meet him," she added, as if that made it less painful. "Meet him?" The sentence repeated in my mind like a cruel joke. "His name is Jake. He's special to me," she said, her tone casual, almost teasing, as if discussing the weather. I felt my stomach drop. This was the same man she had been texting secretly for months. The same man I had noticed her smiling at in ways she never smiled at me. And now she wanted me to welcome him into our home? My mind screamed no, but my voice faltered, caught somewhere between shock and disbelief. Emma continued, "I've thought about this a lot. If you love me, you'll understand. You'll trust me." Trust me? I had trusted her with everything. And this was a consequence? I wanted to scream, to tell her that marriage isn't a playground for experimenting with emotions and bodies while leaving someone you supposedly love to pick up the pieces. Over the next few days, Emma was impossibly calm. She planned everything meticulously, almost as if she were preparing for a party rather than a betrayal. She even bought flowers for him, not for me, of course. And on the day it happened, I watched from a corner of the living room as she welcomed Jake into our home with a warm hug and a kiss on his cheek. I could barely breathe, my heart pounding in my ears. They sat in the living room, laughing and talking about things I couldn't even care about. I felt invisible, a shadow in the room that had once been our sanctuary. But I refused to react, not yet. I needed a plan, a way to turn this devastating betrayal into justice for myself. Over the next hour, I observed. I listened to every laugh, every flirtatious glance, every touch. I took mental notes, storing every detail in my mind. Emma and Jake were careless, confident, oblivious to the storm brewing in my chest. Then it hit me. This was their arrogance, their sense of invincibility. They were so sure of themselves, so certain that I would accept this, that they left a trail. And I could use that trail. I remembered the small hidden camera I had installed months ago, mostly for security. A precaution I never thought I would actually use for this. It was positioned perfectly to capture the living room, and right now, it was recording every word, every move. I smiled faintly, a cold, calculated smile. This wasn't just about revenge. It was about exposing the truth, about reclaiming control over my life and my home. Emma leaned closer to Jake, her hand brushing his arm. She didn't notice me slipping into the kitchen, grabbing my laptop, and connecting it to the camera system. Every moment was being saved. Every touch, every whispered word, every laugh that wasn't meant for me. By the time the evening was over, I had everything I needed. The evidence was undeniable. Emma had thought she could manipulate me, introduce her lover into our lives, and I would simply comply. But she had underestimated me. As they left, laughing and promising to meet again, I stayed behind, my mind racing. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. I felt a sense of clarity I hadn't felt in months. This betrayal, as painful as it was, had revealed something crucial: Emma's true character. And now, Armed with proof, I could act in a way that would ensure she understood the consequences of her choices. That night, I stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, reviewing the footage again and again. My anger was sharp, but beneath it, there was a strange sense of calm. This wasn't impulsive revenge. It was justice. It was strategy. The next morning, I called my lawyer. I didn't waste words, didn't try to negotiate peace. I had everything documented. Custody arrangements, financial matters, even the emotional manipulation. Everything was on record. By the end of the week, the divorce papers were filed. Emma was shocked, incredulous. And for the first time, the smug confidence she had carried when she invited Jake into our home began to crumble. She had assumed I would play along, that I would accept this new arrangement. But she hadn't counted on me being methodical, patient, and determined.